And I think we should be live. Hello and welcome everyone watching from wherever you are in the world. We're back for round 8 of season 5 of the GT Sport League. We're here at Sainte A for this one, the penultimate round of the season. This is a made up track if you are unfamiliar with it, located in France. So yeah, I think it should be a pretty good one. We're in the Group 2s, everyone's in the Nissan or the Lexus, no one opting for the Group 2 Honda. And we're back at it again with the usual 18-minute qualifying session. We've got 15.5 minutes left to go. And, well, Ted is leading the field on the first out lap. It is a long qualifying lap. It's about 3 minutes, 2 minutes 50. We'll probably see times in 2-minute 49s. Everyone's on the hard compound of tyres, 3 tyres available for this race. The hards, the mediums and the softs, and it is the hards tyres that are a mandatory set, which should make the race strategy really interesting. In theory, no stop is technically possible if you can make the hards go all the way to the end. Ted and Wolfie rounding the final corner to start the first qualifying lap. If you're unfamiliar with this track, the track map is in the top right hand corner of the screen for everyone to see. A high or medium speed turn 1, Ted taking it in third gear, about 19 miles per hour, just dips the wheel on the left hand side on the grass as going through turn 2 in towards turn 3, braking about where the curb starts on the right hand side. Has slowed it down in time, good on the brakes as we ride on board, gets nice and close to the inside curb before using all of the track available on the outside. A little drift to the left before swinging it over to the right for a 90-degree right-hander. 3 90-degree right-handers in a row. There's the first. Here is the second. Doesn't drop down into second, stays in third gear, lifts off on the throttle with a little dab on the brakes. His teammate running slightly wide onto the curb in the background, running in first and second place. The 2 drivers leading the way, but no one sets a qualifying time just yet. Bon Evil in third place sits right behind them in the slipstream. Let's keep an eye out Let's keep an eye out though on Ted's lap. He's got his teammate closing in quite quickly behind. Might be compromising him slightly. Doesn't have to back out of it because they are both technically on laps. You can see different lines being taken. Wolfie running slightly wider than his teammate, who's got a nice toe down the back straight in towards the slingshot set of corners. Ted goes defence or pulls over to the right hand side. They're actually going to start racing and qualifying there, wheel to wheel. Ted's gone off the track. Bonnie's hit the back of Wolfie as these two now going wheel to wheel into about 135-degree hairpin. I think there might be some more overtake in the background. I think that's Tim getting up into 4th place on track and ahead of Ted, who's dropped down into 5th on the circuit. We've got a new driver tonight, currently in 10th place on the track, Adidas, filling in for a lack of numbers tonight. A few drivers can't make it, including your championship winner, your driver's champion, Play Dutchy, couldn't make it tonight either. Piero's got a lot to do if he's to win the championship for the Constructors' Championship for him and Dutchy tonight. Tiger's caught up to the back of Wolfie, who's lifting off through the long right-hander. He's got to be careful of the closing speed of Tim behind after compromising his line. And not sure where Tiger started this qualifying session on track, but it certainly wasn't out in front, meaning he could go to the provisional pole slot. We've got drivers like Tim close in contention as well. I think Pierre or Ted, one of the two, might have hit the outside wall. No damage for either of them as they round to the final corner to set their first laps here in qualifying. Let's see what the benchmarker is going to be for the first lap. Tiger Assassin up to the line. It's a 29.2, but Tim beats it with a 2 minute 48.2. Piero 8 tenths behind with a 2 minute 49.1. Topster goes into 4th. Webson's 2 seconds behind in 5th. And everyone else who backed off of their times filter in behind as Finn goes into 5th. 700ths behind Topster and 2.3 seconds ahead of Adidas in the Nissan GTR. We've got 11.5 minutes left in qualifying. That's Ted running wide on the exit of turn 3, but still 2.5 tenths up on his previous best. Tim might just be in the slipstream of one of his championship rivals. Only a few points separate them in the standings, but it's only going to be good enough to see who can finish in the runners-up position, as the top spot is no longer in contention. Played actually winning it last week in Autopolis, where he had a minor incident at the final corner, 5 metres off the line, celebrating a tad too early, but I'm sure he doesn't mind gifting this driver the win. Topster only a 10.5 behind Tiger Assassin, who's now running in 4th and 3rd place as they make their way through the 3rd sector. This track with, I think, 6 sectors. As Two Saints just starting his first lap now, runs a little bit wide onto the gravel. He's got Finn closely behind, who'll be getting a nice tow down the straights, but a wave of dirty air through the corners. He's 3/10 up on his personal best, and you can just see here the slingshot, the left, the right, taking it 200 miles per hour. Both of them missed the corner. They might get a penalty for that. We'll have to wait and see. But Finn running fairly close to the back of Two Saints. They have both got penalties and almost served. Finn has actually served his penalty and he's backed off of that flying lap. Tim 4/10 down. What about Piero as they go over the bridge? 4.5 down himself. Adidas getting it out of shape through the 90 degree right-hander in the 4th sector. I have no idea what corner that is. Topster just going over the curb slightly. Might have compromised his run slightly. Might have found him a few tenths though. In fact, he's found a few tenths to his penalty though, not his overall lap time. Looks like Piero slowed down to serve any penalties or get some clean air. That could have been Bon Evil hitting the wall. No damage for the Brit. As Tiger sets himself up to start another lap. Currently in 3rd place. Can he go quicker than his 2-minute 49.2 in the run-up towards the line? It looks good. It is good. Not good enough though for a provisional pole position. Still 7.5 tenths slower than Attengren. Piero only 400ths behind Tiger Assassin, and I'll work out what the championship permutations are in terms of the team's championship. Two Saint puts his Nissan up into 8th place. I think everyone is in the Nissan. Let's double check. You can see in the bottom right as well, if you're unfamiliar with the designs of the car. Piero in the Lexus, Topster in the Nissan, Finn in the Nissan, Bonnie off the track in the Nissan, but I believe everyone is in the Nissan. We had a fair mix last season when we went to Group 2 of Nissans and Lexuses, but it's very Nissan dominated around this technical track. Tiger 2.8 seconds off his personal best, won't be improving. He's let him go through, whether that was intentional or if he got a time penalty. Not too sure though, but there's still plenty of time to set a lap. Having said that though, Topster runs wide off into the gravel, keeps it in a straight line though. Definitely his lap over, running in 4th place. But with this track being so long, there's only about 2 or 3 laps left to go before qualifying is finished. On the time of this race, it's currently 25th of Feb, and for all those who have got pre-ordered or are keen on getting GT7, it comes out in a week from now, and also in a week from now is the final race of the season. You don't want to miss it at the Circuit de la Sarthe, also known as Le Mans, and we're in old Group 1 cars. That should be an absolute thriller. Things like the Mercedes Sauber and the Mazda, the Nissan, Jag, all those ancient, old, beautiful cars are going to be live on track next week at Le Mans. Hopefully we get a full grid. That would be great. What a way to see out GT Sport, and on to GT7. Let's get back to qualifying. Just under 7 minutes left to go, and Tim is looking to extend his advantage out in front. He's currently 2/10 purple through the 5th sector. Down the slight hill he goes, and the run up towards the final corner. He's already almost 8/10 clear of Tiger in 2nd. He's hit the wall on the outside, and he's going to come into the pits for a fresh set of hard compound tyres. Tiger follows him in. Piero following in soon. Someone else is into the pits. That's Bon Evil. Topster going into the pits as well. What about Two Saint? He's pitting Webson's is in the pits. Everyone is coming into the pits for a fresh set of the hard compound tyre, the green striped tyre, the hardest compound available for this race weekend. It's the slimmest tyre, but the one that lasts the longest, which could make strategy really interesting. We've got 20 laps in this race. The fuel, I think, can just about make it to the end. So we could see a no-stop, with the hards being the mandatory tyre, everyone doing their qualifying laps on the hards, which means you have to start this race on the hard compound tyre. Maybe we might see a few drivers pitting on lap 1, going to the end, or doing a 2-stop, or we might see drivers go to the end and pit on the last lap. We'll have to wait and see. Having said that, though, everyone is on the hard tyre, so someone could have started this race on the soft if they could stretch it out to the end, or do another stop in between and then pit on the last lap. There is plenty of strategies available for this race. The medium tyres could come into play as well. We'll just have to wait and see what the ideal strategy is. We have no idea what it could be. Are we going to see drivers pit on lap 1, or are we going to see them try and take these tyres to the end? 20 laps of this circuit, 5.89 miles, should take about 55 minutes to do. Hello and welcome to everyone watching this. I hope you all, well, obviously besides what's happening in Ukraine, I hope everyone is safe from wherever you are watching this. And to any friends or family members out there who are suffering in Ukraine, then our thoughts go to those. But we're at that phase in qualifying where everyone's on an out lap, having just pit. Adidas actually is the only driver who has stayed out on a worn set of hard compound tyres. You can see the lack of grip from the rear of the Nissan GTR. It's a PlayStation themed Nissan. He's 10th and a bit down on his personal best. Going through the 5th sector now. He's got Toussaint behind him on an out lap after just coming into the pits. We've got drivers about to start their flying laps. It could be their penultimate flying lap with only 3.5 minutes left to go. This track takes about 2 minutes 50 to do a lap. Adidas needs to have a really good final corner if he's to improve on his personal best. The only driver on a lap, as things stand, running P7 on his debut out of 11. He's not doing too badly, but he's got some quick drivers behind him. Pulls into the pits, but he's not going to have enough time to get back to the start-finish straight. Let's have an on-board lap from Tim as he makes his way in towards turn 2. A nice flat-out right-hander for braking just after the 100-metre board. Hooks it nice and tight on the inside curb, braking at the 50 for turn 4. A 90-degree left-hander, uses all the track available on the outside. Has Piero's toe just in front of him. Whether he's within the crucial 8/10, I'm not too sure. It looks clean, it looks smooth through the second sector. Uses all the curb available on the in and outside. Gets on the power nice and early, and it's looking good from the Finnish driver. Your race winner from last week at Autopolis was slightly gifted, but a win is a win. A little bit of a slide as the tyre starts screaming through the medium speed corners. Completely flat out, braking as the curb starts on the left hand side. A little dab on the brakes, back on the power. Not for too much longer though, because it's a little lift through this kind of awkward right hander down the back straight. A key overtaking opportunity may arise at the next corner for the race. Let's have a look at the sector split as he crosses it about now. We're not actually going to see the sector splits for some reason. Braking for the left-right chicane. Uses all the curb available on the outside. Doesn't go in too deep like we've seen a few drivers do already. Braking around the 100-metre board. Gets the apex nice. Cautious on the throttle so the rear end doesn't step out. It's an awkward corner, slightly elevated as well, which doesn't help. He's got Piero just in front of him. We'll be getting a nice tow down these straights. Across the bridge they go, and over the lake You can see the helicopter flying past in the top right hand corner of the screen, braking at the 100. You can't go over all the green Astro on the inside, otherwise you will get a penalty. Avoiding the awkward barrier that sticks out on the right, a little bit of a snap of oversteer through the corner. Piero pulls over to the left hand side. He might be letting Tim go through, or be not trying to give Tim the slipstream. Could also be two different racing lines. As the curve starts on the left hand side, there's another braking point for the penultimate corner. Piero pulls off over to the left hand side, so from here on in Tim is not going to get the toe. We'll have to wait and see what the lap is. It looks clean, it looks quick. From the provisional pole sitter, it's a 2 minute 48.282. This time he hasn't hit the barrier on the outside of the final corner. Can he extend his advantage out in front? Yes, he can, by 3.5 tenths. He's now on provisional pole by 7 tenths because Bonnie Evil's put in a quick lap, a 2 minute 48.6, 4 tenths quicker than Tiger Assassin, who couldn't improve on the last lap. He was almost over a second off, so I'm not sure. Maybe some team orders, he might have let another driver go through or backed off on that attempt. Ted improves. What about Wolfie and Finn as they make their way up to the line? What about Wolfie? He doesn't improve. It goes up into 7th. Finn goes into 2nd, joins Tim on the front row of the grid with a 2 minutes 48.4. A lot of the drivers not getting enough time to start another lap. Webson's will start no higher than 10th place. Is Ted on a lap? Ted is on a lap. He's got the chance to knock Webson's off of 10th place, but a lot of drivers didn't make it. We've got about half the grid made it to do another lap. Bonnie, Tiger, Tim, Finn, I think Piero's in that train as well. Topster didn't make it either. We'll start no higher than 6th place with a 49.3. Can anyone stop Tim from claiming pole position here at Sainte, taking the opportunity to score some good points in the championship whilst Play Dutchy isn't here? Let's have a look at the sector splits from the drivers behind. It's going to be Piero first. We've just missed Piero. What about Bonnie? He's not improving. Tiger, we couldn't quite see his sector splits, so it could be close. It could be close. We'll have to wait and see. But I think drivers in 5th place and above pretty much have made it to another lap. Wolfie hasn't made it to St. Hasdo. Crucially for him, and he is improving. I saw the little bit of green next to his name. And he's 4 seconds off provisional pole. I think that was a penalty. That was a time penalty. Can he serve it? Can he serve that time penalty? Because he's down in P9 at the minute. It's not looking good for constructors. Bonnie's not improving. Piero, I'm not too sure what his lap time is looking like, but he's currently 300 off of Tiger Assassin. Let's have a look at your current pole sitter, Attenborough, in the Nissan. The Finnish driver making his way through the 180-degree long right-hander, the horseshoe as I'm going to call it for this race. And he's purple by 2 tenths. This is going to be an absolutely outstanding lap from Tim if he can nail it compared to the rest of the field. He is on fire here tonight. We've got a minute left in qualifying before we get into the race. Tim, can he extend his advantage on provisional pole position? Yes, he can by 8.5 tenths. Pierre improves, knocks Tiger down to 4th, but Tiger himself goes up into 3rd with a 2 minute 48.4, and in 200ths of Finn in front. 400ths quicker than Bon Evil. Sainte is the next driver to come across the line, but it's not going to be an improvement, and it actually is going to be an improvement by 5 tenths of a second. Goes into 8th place, but it's 3.9 seconds off of pole position. Ted actually improves, doesn't improve his position. There's your starting grid though for today's race. Tim on pole position has Finn right behind him, or alongside him, sorry, on the front row of the grid. Looking further down the order, we've got Tiger in 3rd place, followed by Bonnie Evil in 4th, Pierre in 5th, Topster in 6th, Wolfie in 7th, Tuesday in 8th, Adidas in 9th, Webson's in 10th, and Ted rounding out the grid in 11th place. We're at Sainte for the penultimate round of the season. 19 corners of this 5.8 long mile circuit. The 5 red lights on the screen show someone's jumped the start. I think that's Tiger Assassin. It's lights out and away we go for all but Tiger Assassin has to sit at the back and wait for everyone to go through. It's a good start from Finn. He's already up into the lead of the race. Jumping Tim from the get-go. They're 4 wide, 3 wide into turn 1 with Wolfie on the inside of Topsy. Adidas trying to hold it around the outside. Has nowhere to go but to use the grass. Topsy getting out of shape on the exit of turn 1. Going wheel to wheel with Wolfie. Up the slight hill in towards turn 2 and 3. Wolfie on the outside, Topster on the inside, Adidas on the inside of Websons. Wolfie looked like he went a little bit too deep, but he's been able to keep it on the track. T-Saint going to try and follow Topster through on the inside. The Grit already up into 6th place. Really good start from your Season 1 champion. As Adidas gets up into 8th place, it's a really good showing for a first lap in the league. T-Saint trying to get past Topster. Looking for an opportunity in the battle for 5th place. Topster's already dropped 1.3 seconds to Piero as Finn leading the race 7 or 8 corners into lap 1, but it is a long race, 20 laps to go here in Sainte Croix as Tiger Assassin down to 9th place after jumping the start. We've seen him do comeback drives in the past. Let's see if he can do another one here tonight. Topster just putting a bit of a breathing space between him and Toussaint, who might have made a mistake. He's now under pressure from Wolfie. He's going down the inside of him, in towards, or down the back straight, sorry, as the Irishman and the Brits still side by side. You can see how wide the track is, which is why it's so good for overtaking. You can get 4 or 5 cars going wheel to wheel in towards the fast left-right chicane, which all the drivers negotiate cleanly for the first time this race. Tim under pressure from Bonnie, who leaves the door open on the inside. Piero thought about taking it, and he might get a good run on the Brit in towards the bridge section. Up the slight hill they go, which makes the corner quite awkward, but the grid's still fairly close to one another. Someone's dropped off at the back, and I think that's Ted. I'm not sure if he's got damage. Let's have a quick check here. He's got front bumper and suspension damage. Not sure how the Irishman collected it, but that is unfortunate for him. On the positive, so he could get rid of the hard compound tyres and do the ultimate undercut and pit for softs and be about 2 seconds a lap quicker than everyone else. Meanwhile, someone who was almost 2 seconds a lap quicker in qualifying, that's a little bit exaggerated, but Tim running in 2nd place will be looking to try and get his lead back. He's going down the inside in towards the penultimate corner. Finn's got a little bit deep. Born Evil running onto the grass on the outside. That's going to compromise his run. Finn going defensive to the inside. Tim pulls over to the left-hand side of the track, but Finn keeps the inside line, going towards the final corner and keeps the lead of the race. Finn, though, darts into the pits. This was the strategy I was talking about in qualifying, getting rid of the hards as soon as possible and pitting for a fresh set of soft compound tyres, Websons and Ted. And so that's Finn, Tiger and Websons all into the pits, off of the hards and onto a set of the soft compound tyres. For those who are familiar with the Nations Cup, this is what a lot of professionals do when they have to use all 3 tyre compounds. We implemented that rule last season to see if anyone would do it. No one done it. But we had the medium, super soft and soft, and in the Nations Cup they always pit on lap 1 when they started on the hards, just to get rid of them and be quicker on mediums or softs and stretch them out as long as they can. Finn, Tiger, Websons and Finn, Tiger, Websons and Ted, are in good contentions of scoring good points if they can keep it clean and consistent on this alternate strategy. It's one that I think could work wonders. We'll have to wait and see though, only time will tell, as Bon Evil getting a little bit out of shape. As it seemed, it doesn't look like it's lasting too much time. The camera angle just made it look like he was still real slightly, but running in a 2nd place. His last podium, I think, was in Suzuka, round number 1, but I will double check that. Yeah, it was. His last podium was in Suzuka. We'll be looking for to bounce back after not finishing last week's race in Autopolis, as Wolfie's under pressure from Toussaint. 3/10 is the gap, the closest gap on track at the minute. We're on lap 2 out of 20, but with a longer lap, we should still get the same race length. I've calculated each race to be 55 to 60 minutes long, because that's the race duration we tend to run. gap, decreasing with the slipstream over the bridge in towards a good overtaking opportunity, a heavy braking zone from 5th gear to 2nd. 2 can't quite find a way through. I was looking for a particular word, but I couldn't think of the word I was thinking of. But he's got a good run through the long right-hander. Could set himself up for moving towards the penultimate corner, but isn't far enough alongside to go for anything. Meanwhile, out in front, Tim's extended his gap to 1.5 seconds over Bon Evil, who's 9/10 clear of Piero in 3rd place. Piero doing all he needs to win the Constructors' Championship here tonight for Duchy and himself. A lot of drivers into the pits. Piero staying out. Interesting strategies. He sets the fastest lap of the race, albeit lap 2. But yeah, 2 drivers yet to pit. Look how much Finn is only 8 seconds off Piero. I want to set up the soft compound tyres. This is how much quicker the softs are to the hards, which is why I think this strategy is going to be so varied between all the drivers. We've got those who pit on lap 1, those who pit on lap 2. Some have gone medium, some have gone soft. So is Adidas going to the end? Is Ted going to the end on the mediums? Is Finn going to 2-stop on the softs? We just don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. We're running times 4 tyre wear. Do you think softs can make it to the end? Or do you think those who pitted for the softs will have to make another pit stop? And will those medium runners need to pit again? Bon Evil going onto the medium tyres as well. Sainte and Tiger splitting the strategies. Sainte gets out ahead of Tiger, but the gap has come down a lot considering Tiger was at the back of the grid. Look how much Finn has jumped him. 2.8 seconds in you doing the undercut, pitting early off those hard tyres. That maybe concerns are being raised out in front as Piero leads the way, followed by Wolfie. Wolfie yet to finish on the podium in a Group A championship. Won the championship last season, albeit in Group B. Had a very dominant season. It was a very consistent season, you have to say, from Wolfie. He's been very consistent this season. Been fighting with Aston and Webstons for a lot of the season. And this is what happens when you put so many quick drivers into one league. Not necessarily are we going to see all the fights out in front, but we've had so many individual battles throughout the majority, throughout the grid. We've got the fight for the lead, the fights for the final podium, the fights for 7th place, the battle for 11th. But these battles aren't 1 or 2; they're often 4, 5, or 6. I mean, we saw how crazy it was in Tokyo. Wolfie is now under a lot of pressure from Finn. As Finn on those soft tyres are just so much quicker than the hards. You can see setting himself up for a move. Look how much grip he's got through the right-hander. It's only a matter of time before he gets past. I don't think Wolfie's going to fight this one too much. Goes wide to let Finn go through on the inside. Wise move from Wolfie. He doesn't want to lose too much time being on the hard compound tyres. Is it worth staying out till the end of the race? Are you going to lose that much time not pitting? It's not the longest, but not the shortest pit lane on the calendar. Piero, I think, realising his mistakes, comes into the pits. Wolfie stays out, being really bold and brave on this strategy. He is committed to the hard compounder tyre. Assuming he's leading this race, Tiger is only 14 seconds behind him. He is only 14 seconds behind Wolfie. Tim has already caught up to the back of the Irishman. He's gained about 9/10 on Finn as well. Wolfie picks up a 5-second time penalty for cutting turn 1. And it's only going to be a matter of time before the Finnish driver gets past the Irish driver. 2 Nissans fighting away. Tim pulls over to the right hand side of the track, which is the inside for turn 5, and gets the move done up into 2nd place and can start the hunt on Finn. Lots of different strategies. Wolfie now 3 seconds ahead of Bon Evil, but is staying on the hard compound tyres. I Don't know if this strategy's going to work out, but only time will tell. It's bold, it's brave, but it's definitely one that could pay off if he makes it work. If he keeps it clean on the track, and if other drivers around him make mistakes, we could see him finishing a personal best result, but we will have to wait and see. Bonnie's not... Oh no, sorry, Bonnie has gained quite a bit. The gap now at 1.8 seconds between him and the Wolfie, and you only think it's a matter of time before Bonnie gets ahead of the Irishman. But hello, welcome everyone in the chat. Hope everyone's having a good day. I say that though with caution, obviously, what's happening around the world. So to anyone just tuning in, anyone who is affected by the conflict over in the east between Ukraine and Russia, then our thoughts dedicated to those affected, any friends, family members, and just those in general as well. Adidas picking up a time penalty through the exits of the bridge chicane is what I'm going to start calling it from now on. The bridge chicane, we've got the horseshoe, fast left right chicane for that speedy bit. Let's bring some hype to this stream. I'm feeling good about this race. Well, certainly we're going to have a different race winner from the same Dutchman who keeps winning. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it tonight's race. He's won the championship and he's gone on vacation. Finn leads the way 5 laps in to the Sainte Grand Prix after pitting on the first lap off the hard compound tyres onto the softs. Tim followed a lap later, lost about 2-3 seconds in doing so, but he's caught right back up to the German, and these two should give us a stunning fight for the lead. Bonneville concealing the third podium position, third and final podium position, ahead of Wolfie, who's staying out on the hards, but he's got Tobbs and Piero right behind him. We could have a fight both for the lead and for 4th place. I don't think this one's going to last much longer though, with Tobbs going for it on the inside of Wolfie, and can he get the move down? Wolfie on the inside is not going to give this one up, has to concede the position and gets a snap of oversteer on exit. The hards not giving him the grip or the traction that he needs to stay ahead of the German, but he's now dropped to P5 and he's got quick drivers on quick tyres closing in behind him. One of them being Piero in the fight for the Constructors' Championship. He's put alongside and is now ahead of Wolfie, going in before the fast left-right chicane. Battle for the lead roars on, just like these Group 2 cars, revving out their engines. They sound absolutely beautiful. Not as beautiful though as the older Group 1 cars we'll be driving next week as Le Mans. Tim really close to the back of Finn, and he's closing in with the slipstream. Is Finn going to defend the inside line? Is Tim going to go for anything? Breaks early, doesn't decide to send one on the inside. He's just got to be a little bit patient with his move, get them done quickly and effectively. Wolfie's looking at a P8 finish, I think, here tonight. Tim's going to go for it though on the inside, and he's got the move done up into the leader of the race. Let's get a replay. He saw the gap and he sent it. Finn didn't cover the inside enough, and Tim saw the opportunity and he went for it. There's a bit of a gap forming between Tim and Tiger and Websons, who's just overtaken Adidas in the battle for 9th place. As you can see Ted in the background, just 5 seconds behind. Adidas actually has damage. He's not sure where he's picked that up from, but it's going to cost him in the corners and in the straight line. Finn less than a 10th behind Tim going in towards turn 1. The two drivers whose names are so similar fighting for the lead of this race. Tim and Finn, I'm sure going to get them mixed up in this race at some point. For any new viewers who are probably who don't know the reference, one season at Mount Panorama we had drivers who were called Woody, Wolfie, Ted, Tim, Finn, and they were all on track together, racing it together each other at one point. It was the most confusing bit of commentary I think I've ever had to do. Trying to say Finn, Tim, Ted, Woody, Wolfie, Tiger, Sainte, those names are fairly similar as well. You look on the leaderboard, whilst trying to look at the action, those two names are similar. They're similar, got similar pace as well here tonight. They pretty much had similar pace since season 2. When they became teammates, when we introduced the team's championship. Here goes Sainte on the inside of Wolfie, doesn't fight it too much on the hard tyres, and your season 1 champion gets ahead of your season 4 champion, your season 4 Group B championship champion, that is. But a championship is a championship. Something that was interesting looking at that, if we just have another replay, 2 different lines being taken into this right-hander. You can see Sainte goes wider and cuts into the top. Wolfie keeps it nice and tight on the inside. So different lines being taken. That could be the hard compound tyres, it could just be the driving style. Here goes Topster on the inside of Bon Evil into the left-hander before the bridge. Onto the bridge they go, wheel to wheel. Bon Evil just about gets ahead. And Pierre in the background looming large. 3 drivers, none of whom are teammates, so we should see a nice 3-way fight for the final podium position. Pierre looking for a move on the inside. Topster going to send one on the inside. Bon Evil leaves him the space. Topster's going to try the alternate line, get the switchback, but takes a little bit too much curve and gets a bad run in the slipstream though, gaining through the long right-hander. The track is wide enough to go through wide in this section. Whether it'll mount to that, we'll have to wait and see. Is he going to go for anything? In towards the final corner, he's late on the brakes. He sends one down the inside, and it's a beautiful move up in towards 3rd place. Weaves to break the tyre, pulls over to the left-hand side of the track. Bon Evil could be vulnerable to Piero, who's got a really good slingshot down the back straight, up into 4th place. Bonnie losing 2 positions in 2 corners. I thought Topster was going to go into the pits there for a second. That was Sainte hitting the wall fairly heavily in the background. Hasn't got damage. But these 3, 11 seconds behind Finn. It's almost like Hamilton and Verstappen out in front at the minute. But Topster making it a German 2-3 in this race. Scoring good points for him and Tim, currently 1st and 3rd. I think they're too far behind to catch up to Tiger and Sainte. But I will just double check. No, they're not. They are 14.5 points behind Sainte and Tiger, who are running 6th and 7th in this race. They could still claw it back and finish 2nd in the Constructors' Championship. Tiger and Sainte are undefeated and have won it 3 seasons in a row. Will they finish in 3rd place this season, or will they be able to hold on to 2nd place? Dutch and Piero can win it here tonight. The gap between them is 58.5 points. A team can score a maximum of 51 points from a race. That's the fastest lap, 1st and 2nd place. So if they can keep that gap higher than 51, they're going to win it. Topster and Pierre now going side by side into the left-right chicane. Topster backs out but tries a switchback move. Pierre's off the screen and off the track, and he might get a penalty for doing so. We'll have to wait and see. He's going wheel to wheel with Bon Evil now, and he's went a little bit deep into the right-hander. He's almost off the track again. Tucks in behind. He's now losing time to Bon Evil, almost out of the slipstream range, but we know Pierre definitely has the pace to claw it back. A few mistakes kicking in early. Having said that, we're about a 3rd of the way through this race. 19 minutes gone. We've got about another 40 left to go. Tim only extending his advantage out in front. The fastest lap of 2:44.222. That is very nice and satisfying. Fastest lap. If we can keep it like that for the rest of the race, that would be pretty nice indeed. Pierre now drops 1.2 seconds behind Bon Evil, and a few mistakes costing him trying to go for the move on Topster. Ended up in him losing the position to Bon Evil, but Pierre is gaining the time back. Only 7/10 between the two. As they make their way through turn one for the 8th time this evening. Tim, look at the time difference. He's over 2 seconds quicker than Finn a lap, who's showing absolutely blistering pace at a race that Dutchy's not here. It could have been an outstanding fight for the lead. But unfortunately, looks like it's a new era of Tim domination. Wolfie in 8th isn't being caught by Webson's in 9th, so his hard strategy might be working out well for him. He's scoring good points in this race so far. Piero closing in on the back of Bon Evil in the battle for 4th place. Dutch in the chat reminding us he is back next week. Next week's race at Le Mans to finish out the season. Hopefully we'll see a nice fight for the lead between Dutchy and Tim, because Tim tonight is showing some fantastic pace. On pole by, I thought it was 8/10 or something. Absolutely ridiculous. Topster in 3rd with a 1.5 second advantage to Bon Evil. 5/10 now ahead of Piero. Running in 5th place with Gr2 in 6th and 7th. Dutchy, if you're watching this with the audio on and you can hear this right now, Piero might be winning you the Constructors' Championship tonight if it finishes as it is. I'm not too sure what the points is, but I'm going to work it out throughout this race. The gap is 58.5 points between the two teams, I think. Let me just double check actually, what were the points? It was 286 and 227.5, so yeah, that is only 50.5 points. A constructor or a team can score 51 points with the fastest lap. The race was 2nd place between the two drivers. Now, meanwhile, we do have a nice battle forming on our hands though. For 3rd place. And Dutchy with a nice fun fact in the chat. If he and Piero were to win the Constructors, it would be their 3rd Constructors' Championship as teammates at Gavra Racing. They've won 2 in F1, and they'll get their 1st in GT Sport. Dutchy's been through a number of teammates in the past few seasons, and he's finally found one who can fight for the championship. Fighting on track for 4th place. Here he goes into turn 1. Couldn't quite make the move stick. The dream team. Piero, without his teammate tonight, will be doing his best to try and seal the deal here at Sainte. Can the French driver win it on home soil? What a fairy tale that would be. I am still trying to work it out, because Gr2 Sainte, unless something drastic happens, it looks like they're going to finish in 6th and 7th place. That is a total of 22 points. Piero in... No, it's not. That's a total of 18 points. So I don't know if Piero can win it tonight. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. We'll wait and see if Piero can get 4th, and then we'll calculate it from there. Piero on the back of Bon Evil. Bon Evil and Webson's running in... I'm not sure where they are in the championship. I think they're 5th in Constructors, behind Finn and Manuel. But it's gaining in the slipstream. They're now wheel to wheel. Nothing separates the two cars. A few metres though as they separate on the straight, and Piero gets the move done up into towards 4th place, into the left right chicane. This time he's able to slow it down in time and get the move done. Now he hunts 2 seconds to Topster. I think if he finishes... No. As it stands, I think Piero could single-handedly win the... Well, not single-handedly, obviously, but you know what I mean. Without Dutchy here, Piero, I think, can win the championship in this position. He's scoring at the minute 14 points for the team. That will bring their total up to 72.5 points. 72.5, and if you subtract 18, that's 454.5, which means Piero has to finish less than 5th to concede the championship. If Bonneville overtakes him, then they would lose it by 1.5 points, assuming Piero and Duchy don't race next week, and that Tiger and Sainte win with the fastest lap. So ideally, if Tiger and Sainte finish 5th and 6th, Piero can finish wherever he likes, as long as it's ahead of Tiger and Sainte, and then him and Duchy will win the Constructors' Championship. No pressure, Piero. Go get out. I'm sure he's got Duchy in his ear right now, telling him the information that I'm passing on. But if my stats are correct, Piero could win it tonight. Wolfie into the pits, off of the hards onto the softs. He could go to the end of the race on the 10 laps off. You can see Finn and Tim's are fairly worn out after 9 laps, so I'm sure Wolfie can take his to the end of the race. That gap now 10 seconds out in front. Effectively, Bonneville, Duchy's former teammate, is in between Duchy winning it, Duchy and Piero winning the Constructors tonight, or for it to go on into Le Mans next week for the final race of the season. It is all still to play for, but we've got 10 laps left of racing, which will tell us the story at the end. Piero at the minute is winning it on home soil for him and Duchy. Duchy couldn't make it for tonight's race. He's off working, but has already won the Drivers' Championship. The gap's starting to extend between a lot of drivers, but starting to close in at the same time. Closest battle being Piero and Tobster. Piero a few laps ago was 2 seconds behind. He's now 9/8 tenths behind Tobster. This is for a podium position. The last time Piero finished on the podium this season was in Monza. That's how long it's been. The last time Tobster was on the podium was a few seasons ago. He's yet to finish in a top 3 position this season. His highest finish was last week in Autopolis, where he finished in 4th place. Finn is into the pits off the soft compound tyres, looking for the ultimate undercut. Will Tobster follow him in? I think he will. Indeed he does. Piero stays out. Bonneville also staying out, being on the medium tyres. Is he going to the end? We've seen how much quicker the slower compounder tyres are, the quickest tyres, sorry, are compared to the slower ones. That means... well, Finn's actually rejoined. Actually, did Bonnie make a mistake there? Yeah, Bonnie did make a mistake running wide onto the grass. That's what cost him the time to Piero and the position to Finn. 2 mistakes actually, running wide twice in a row. That is not going to help his fight for 3rd place. Which is now occupied by Finn, previously owned by Tobster, who's going wheel to wheel with Toussaint. Is now on the inside. Tobster's going to try and hold it round the outside. A little bit of contact between the two as he gets out of shape on the curb. Tobster's fresh softs against Toussaint's worn softs. Very worn softs. The front tyres are dead. They're going to go wheel to wheel down the back straight. Thompson with the straight line speed advantage. They almost bang doors as they make their way towards the camera shot, in towards the fast left right chicane. They're still door to door, nothing separating them in terms of the timesheet. Thompson's going to try and hold it around the outside, forced off the track from Sainte, rejoins ahead but slots in behind for now. Sainte trying to go round the outside. Thompson sends it on the inside, lucky not to get a penalty, but gets the move done. Sainte with a switch track move on the worn tyres, can't quite fight back. Thompson to go defensive to the inside, going onto the bridge. Sainte's going to try and set himself up for a move. The battle for 5th place, he's holding up Thompson as much as he can. All this could do is help out Piero in giving him a podium position. Sainte now trying to go for it on the inside. It's in the room, there's contact. A lot of contact between the two. Thompson hitting Thompson's rear right tyre. But Thompson comes out unscathed and up into 5th place, but that has cost him a lot of time. To Piero, who has stayed out on a worn set of soft tyres. He's been overtaken by Finn, who pitted the previous lap. Is Piero going to box this lap? I think he will. He stays out. Bonnie might pit this lap, but he stays out as well. I think that was Adidas coming into the pits. But interesting strategies. Is Piero going to go to the end? Saintes into the pits. Off of a worn set of softs. Tiger pitted on the previous lap. And look how much time he's gained. On Sainte. Look how much time he's gained with his teammate. Also, Sainte made a mistake in the 2-minute 50 lap time. Is he going to come up behind Wolfie? Wolfie's strategy is putting him out right behind Sainte, and we could have a race on our hands for 7th place. But it looks like Piero extending the gap to Bon Evil. 8 laps to go. Can they go to the end? Topster is closing in at a rapid rate of knots. It appears he will rejoin in 3rd place. It looks like a podium position is quite possible. Wolfie's actually got ahead of Sainte. I wonder if the replay cameras will go back that far enough. Just about down the inside through turn 5, I think, or 6. And he's now up into 7th place. Sainte, so not going to give this one up without a fight. He goes for it on the inside. Wolfie's going to try and hold it on the outside. Switch, cut back, get a good run on the Brit. He's now going to be in the slipstream down the long back straight, the longest straight, 0.5 miles long. Pulls over to the left-hand side of the track, right-hand side of the screen, which is the inside for the next corner. Is he far enough alongside, though, to send one on the inside? He's late on the brakes, but not late enough to go for the move. Sainte has it covered, maintains 7th place. But this battle might not be over yet. Wolfie's showing some amazing pace against the Season 1 champion. Someone who we've seen so often fighting towards the front is struggling here tonight in the Group 2 cars at not Alsace, Sainte Croix. Weaves across the bridge to break the toe. Wolfie follows that gap, coming down in the slipstream. He's not close enough though to send one on the inside, going into the right-left chicane. But he has gained a little bit of time. I think Sainte went a bit deep. He has gone over the curb and picked up a time penalty. Piero into the pits. Bon Evil follows. But that is not worked out well for them. Bon Evil's on the mediums as well. And look how much Tops is going to gain on these guys. They're just going into the pit lane now. It's actually one of the quickest pit lanes in the game. You're pretty much in and out in a matter of seconds. But Tops are 4 seconds ahead of Tiger. Tiger's jumped Piero and Bon Evil. After jumping the starts and pitting early, he set the fastest lap of anyone. As things stand, on lap 13, Tiger Assassin is the fastest driver out on track. But this man, he has just pitted for a fresh set of tyres, and he's only, I think that 43.9 was his out lap. So, Topster going purple as well. Interesting stuff. We've got some quick drivers out on track. Target going from last to fourth after jumping at the start. That could be where someone got their damage on lap 1. I noticed Ted, I think, had damage. That could be where he got his damage from. Not seeing the stranded Nissan. He now runs in 10th place and picks up some crucial points for his constructors battle with Dan and Aston. Dan and Aston not here tonight, and with Wolf in 8th place. They may even jump the 2 British drivers in the constructors the team's championship. Pretty much is constructors because they're all in the same cars this season. For those new viewers who are unfamiliar with the format of this season, to see off GT Sport, the 5th season we've run, we've got different cars at each race. We started off in Super Formulas, we've gone to Group 3, Group 2, we've used Alpines, we've used Expos, we've used Red Bulls, we've done the lot. We've been to different tracks, we've been to 3 races, 3 tracks at 1 round. We've gone out with a bang to finish off what has been an incredible, not only an incredible season, but an absolutely phenomenal league. And even if you don't like GT racing, or don't play GT Sport or any Gran Turismo, if you're into motorsport, if you like close racing, then this is the place for you, my friend. In the past, we've had so many uncountable photo finishes, drag races, 5-way fights, 4-wide moments. What an incredible 2 years it's been. And I have to say, it has been an absolute pleasure doing this for everyone. Not only the drivers, but the viewers as well. And next week is going to be my last race, the last commentary I do, the last race we host on GT Sport. That's not because I'm leaving, it's because we're all transferring to GT7. You thought, oh no, he's leaving, I really like that guy. Why is Natty leaving? I'm not leaving. We're just transferring. This is why it's going to be the penultimate commentary and the last time I'm admin on this game, because, well, there's a new one coming out. We may do events for those who don't. I've got events in mind for GT Sport for those who don't get the game immediately. Obviously, it would be unfair to move over straight away. We're going to have a smooth transition onto GT7. The leagues won't probably start up until May, June time. Maybe we'll probably even start the leagues in September, because I'm aware everyone's probably, or most people would like to spend a few weeks on holiday over the summer. May and June are important times, especially for teenagers, 18-year-olds taking their A-levels, 16-year-olds taking GCSEs or equivalent in other countries, so commitment might not be there. So my plan is for all the people watching and all the drivers watching this back, my plan is for the future, we're going to do events on both GT Sport, GT7, whatever gets the most attention. We're going to do events up until September. We're going to do mini championships in between, maybe like 3 races in Super Formula, Group 3. It's probably going to be a lot of Group 3 from the start, because obviously it's harder to get credits in GT7. People don't are just going to get the game. So we're going to do one-off races, start with maybe Daytona, Trial Mountain, all the new tracks, who knows. Different concept events. I've got a few different things I'd like to test out in mind. These won't be implemented in league races, they'll just be fun events. Close racing, nothing serious. But then yeah, after that in the summer I'm going to do mini championships, try and get maybe, I don't know, we might have like the Asian tour where we go to Fuji, Suzuka, Autopolis, as an example. I'm not saying we will, just as an example, maybe 3-race season or 3-race championship just to get things going. Now that Daytona's in the game, I want to do a 12 hours of Daytona, or Daytona 500 maybe. We can't do 500 laps, but we'll do the nearest equivalent, whether that be however many hours. 24 hours of Daytona without driver swaps, we'll have to do it the same way we've done the 24 hours of Le Mans last year, which I think went down with huge success, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, I do have Daytona 24 hours in mind. That is something I'm looking to do. I'm probably going to mix it up. Rather than doing season. It's probably going to be event, mini championship, season, event, season, just so everyone's not, you know, obviously league racing's serious, but a one-off event, you know, elbows out a little bit, maybe a NASCAR event. They've added Daytona, they may add NASCARs back into the game. I can't wait for it. I'm not hyped as in like Christmas Day hype, but I'm just excited for the new game. Obviously we've had this since 2017. It's been 5 years since the new installment into the GT franchise, and the next one looks to be a banger. Let's just hope it's not as broken as GT Sport was when it launched. Topster making a slight mistake, losing a little bit of time to Tiger Sass, who's now 9/8 tenths behind, and he's looking to claw some points back in Constructors. I said Piero could win it here tonight. I'm not too sure now all of a sudden. I think it depends on where Tiger finishes this race. So Dutchy, if you are still watching, I would be cheering on for your Frenchman, and also Topster, if they want to win the championship tonight. There is currently 58.5 points between the two teams, and with 51 points on offer maximum from a championship, from a race, sorry. I have to wait and see how this one's going to unfold. Let me just write down the points system. For those unfamiliar with the point system, it's 25 points for the win, 20 points for second, 16 for third, 14 for fourth, then we have 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the final two positions get 0, unfortunately. Yeah, Dutchy in the chat, pretty confident he's going to win the Constructors. It is looking that way, unless you both don't finish next week in Le Mans. Highly unlikely though. So, with Piero in 5th place, where is Piero? He's close to Tiger and both Bon Evil, so it could be... I'm not going to calculate anything until the end of the race, because knowing me, it will change, and then we'll have to do it again, so there's no point wasting time calculating championship standings mid-race. Let me know in the chat, guys, what new tracks are you looking forward to on GT7? What ones are you hoping will be in the first season? I can hear Dutchy angry when I said it's probably going to start up in September. That is, yes, it's a long way away, maybe in it earlier, we'll maybe start it in August, but there will be events and other mini championships in between. Like I said earlier, we might go to all the Asian tracks as a championship. In Group 3 might go to all the Italian tracks, because there's quite a few in this game. We might do a mix of power circuits. We might do a mini F1 season where we go to Austria, Suzuka, Monza, that sort of stuff. We might try and categorize a championship that way. No, I don't mean 6 months until the first race, though, because I'm thinking about the drivers and the time of year this game comes out. Oh, hang on a minute, Tiger's looking to send one down the inside. But I know quite a few drivers have important exams. A lot of people are going to have exams in May and June. People are going to be away on holiday in June, July, August, so we'll do one-off events in April, May, start a season at the end of May. It might be 5 races, 6 races. Tiger and Topster, sorry, wheel to wheel. Let's get back to the action. Topster and Tiger fighting for a podium position. Topster on the inside. Can Tiger hold this one round the outside, back to the inside for the second left? He's got the move done, up into 3rd place. Topster on Warner tyres. It's going to be difficult for him to fight back, but he's going to give it his best. Try and fight on the outside, tucked into the slipstream of the green and black VCMR car. Piero has caught up to the back of this fight as well. These are crucial positions and crucial points. Tim leads the way by 21 seconds after 17 laps. The podium is yet undecided. The championship is yet to be undecided. We could finish it here tonight. And I was going to say either team could still win it. I was wrong about that. This isn't last season. The gaps have certainly changed a lot since we were at this stage of the championship last season. Piero on the back of Tobster. He's going for it on the outside. Tobster defends the inside line for turn 2. Will become the outside for turn 3. On the inside, late on the brakes. Can he slow it down in time? Does he have the grip to hold it on the outside? No. Piero up into 4th place. Could they be 2 crucial points to win the championship for him and Play Duchy on home soil? 1.3 seconds is now the gap between him and Tiger Assassin. Piero on fresher tyres could claw the Brit back into this. Tiger, his last podium was all the way in Sardinia A. 4 races ago. Piero's last podium was in Monza. A few races ago, that was round 3. Tobster running wide onto the grass. That's going to cost him a heap of time in the battle for 4th place. He may just be out of the running. His soft compound tyres probably getting the best of him as they start to wear out. Wolfie, that's a lapped car of Adidas behind him on track. He couldn't quite keep up with Two Saints' pace. 6.3 seconds up the road. Just had to take a quick drink. Apologies about the silence, but we've got to change of position. What's happened? Two Saints got engine damage, and he's lost it somewhere before turn 10, I think it is, or turn 9. That could be constructors blown out the window. That could be it gone here tonight. Piero in 4th, with Tiger in 3rd, Two Saints down in 8th. It's not going to be enough. It is not going to be enough. To make things easier to calculate for everyone, assuming Two Saints out of the points, Tiger's only scoring 2 more points than Piero. If you add on Two Saints points in 8th, then they'll be scoring 8. Oh, actually, hang on a minute. That is interesting. I'll calculate it properly at the end, but I think there could be 52. I'm going to work it out now. Apologies. Apologies, but Two Saints set to finish in 8th place. If the pit stop doesn't take 30 seconds, he's going to come out ahead of Webson. Two Saints in 8th. So that is 6 points. Tiger in 3rd, if he keeps it, will be 16. So that's 22 points scoring for Tiger and Two Saints. Piero in 4th is scoring 14 points. So he's being outscored by 8 points. That means 50.5 points will be separating Tiger, Two Saints and Dutch and Piero, which means the incredible scenes could happen. If Piero and Dutchy don't finish next week's race, Tiger and Two Saints finish 1 and 2 with the fastest lap, they would win it on half a point. That is the margins we are fighting with today. That half point is stopping Piero and Dutchy from winning the championship tonight. It's not over yet. Tiger can still make a mistake. But after jumping the start and dropping to the back of the grid, he's worked his way up into 3rd place, 12 seconds behind Finn. If Webson's fined 6 seconds, he will cost Sainte a potential championship, it is highly unlikely that Tiger and Sainte will outscore Piero and Duchy by 50.5 points next week. But if by some miracle it does, what a championship fight it would be. Tim is into the pits, he's got a 25-second lead, he's going for that fastest lap, he's already got the fastest lap of the race. We may even see Finn pit in second, who knows? Who knows? Tops is under pressure from Bon Evil, and as this race can almost draws to an end, I think it's time to use a phrase that's most notably familiar with the guy, with the driver in 8th place. We'll get back to it in a second as Tops hits the wall on the exit of the final corner. Bon Evil gets up into 5th place. What am I talking about? Where did I get 51 from? I know what I've done. I've used loss. I'm still thinking of last season's point system when it was 30 for a win, but I'm taking 20 for second place. That'll be where I got 51 from. 30 plus 20 plus 1 is 51. My apologies. As it stands, Piero will be winning it tonight. We'll do it at the end, I can't be bothered. But as is, I think he's won it. I think this is where I need someone up here with me to clarify. There's me waffling on about this, trying to build up a dramatic end to the season, yet I'm wrong. Most of the time I am wrong half the time, but we'll gloss over the negatives. Yeah, Dutchy. Yeah. So there goes the half-point theory. I was starting to conclude. So let's just go through this again. Tiger scoring 22 points. Bon Evil scoring 4. No, Tiger and Sainte, scoring 22 points. Piero and Duchy are scoring 14. That's 8 points. 58.5 minus 8 is 50.5. But you can't score 50.5 points between a team in runways, because 25 plus 20 plus 1 is not 50.5. It's what? 46. So Piero could win. Well, is set. Someone is off, and it is Adidas. He's got front bumper and suspension damage at turn 3, and a debut that's not gone as he would have planned. Gets it back facing the right direction, so Piero can still win it on home soil tonight. Tim starts the final lap of the race. It's been an absolute dominant performance from him. He's been on pole, he's led the majority of this race. He closed down the gap back to Finn. As the closest battle on track continues to occur for 3rd place between Tiger and Piero. They ran the final corner to start the final lap of the race. I thought someone had crashed. Wolf being in an amazing 7th place, finishing ahead of Sainte after he picked up engine damage, is on a personal best. Might deny Tim on the fastest lap, but Tim is going for it. Let's ride on board with Tim for the final lap in the penultimate race of the season. Braking at the 100 metre board, using up all the apex, all the curbs are available on the inside and the out, keeping it nice and tight to the inside barrier for the long swooping left-hander, braking as the curb starts on the left-hand side, using some of the grass on the inside to use as little track as possible. Tight on the inside curb, power down, foot flat as soon as possible, down the back straight he goes, keeps it nice and tight to the right-hand side, pulls over to the middle. Someone has crashed again. I think that is Adidas off at the right-hander that Tim is rapidly approaching. Heavy braking zone, but not for much longer. Back flat on the throttle before braking as the curb starts on the left. Millimetres separating his Nissan from the barrier. Braking at the 50 for the left-hander before the bridge. He's now onto the bridge. misses the barrier on the right, passes a helicopter on the left, waving to all the marshals on either side over the bridge. Approaching a heavy braking zone, a good overtaking opportunity. No overtaking for Tim though, being out in front. He has got a lapped car right in front of him who's hopefully not going to get in the way. Keeps it nice and tight to the inside. Adidas pulls over nice and cleanly, but he took advantage of Dutchy's mistake last week in Autopolis when he crashed over the line. It's been an absolute dominant race weekend from Tim today. He took pole by almost a second. He's got the fastest lap by storm, a 2 minute 42.8. He's led the majority of this race, and he rounds the final corner to claim victory here in Sainte and take 2 wins in a row by 22 seconds. What a race it's been for Tim. Been in second place. He's played the strategy to perfection, pitting on the opening lap, getting ahead of Tim, but the Finnish driver was able to close down the gap at a rapid rate of knots, and Finn will finish this race in second place. Another podium to add to his name. Tiger Assassin back up on the podium, his last in Sardinia. Just beating out Piero in fourth, but Piero in fourth is enough for him to win the Constructors' Championship for him and Play Dutchy. Dutchy's first, and he's been waiting so long for this. Finishing second on a number of occasions. Piero was there at his aid. He's been there by his side, fighting up front. And those two have been arguably unstoppable all season. Topster off into the barrier at turn 1. Looks like his AI has just given up. Finishing this race in 6th place. Wolfie will finish in an amazing 7th place. He's actually disconnected over the line, but will still claim 6th place. Wolfie up to the line will claim a wonderful 7th place for him and Ted, getting their constructors fight back on track. Trying not to finish at the back of the field. It's been a day of commiserations for Sainte, missing out on A, the Constructors' Championship, but B, a good result in the drivers. He slows down up to the line, and after picking up engine damage, it's a day to forget. Finishing in 7th place. And he's going to do some bonus. A little drift across the line and finish this race backwards. Yes. What am I trying to say? My mind has gone completely blank as Websons finishes in 8th place ahead of Ted in 9th and Adidas in 11th. Topster finishing in 6th place. But there we go. It's the same face from last week, but a new one nevertheless. Tim picking up the gold trophy in the top step on the podium, and takes home the win of the race. Beating out Finn in second, made an extra pit stop and still won by over 22 seconds. Tiger Assassin finishing in 3rd place is good enough for a podium, but with Piero in 4th, the only one in the I only just realised Finn was in the old Group 2 car. Wow. Finn, in what's on paper a slower car, finished in... That is a round of an applause. Absolutely, wow. I never specified what class of car. Finn has opted for the Group 2 Nissan, the older one, and finished in 2nd place. Outstanding, I've only just noticed. Piero, though, finishing in 4th with Tiger in 3rd, Sainte in 8th, is enough for him and Play Dutchy to seal the Constructors' Championship. Their first in GT Sport, their 3rd as a pair, and it's another trophy to their names. Dutchy's 5th GT Sport Championship. But Piero in 5th with Topster in 6th, Wolfie in 7th, Sainte in 8th, Websons in 9th, Ted in 10th, and Adidas in 11th. Tim with an extra point for the fastest lap. I hope you guys have enjoyed this race here in Sainte. Make sure to subscribe to the Twitch and us on YouTube as well. Join the Discord channel to chat to any of the drivers or spectators or anyone in the community. Next week's race, we're at the circuit of De La Salle for the old Group 1 cars, and I'll give you Well, you'll see them next week. They're beautiful. They are absolutely stunning. It's going to be an incredible race. But now that the championship is all wrapped up, it's all to play for. Nothing's to play for. It's all for pride and glory next week, where we head over to Le Mans, not too far from the made-up regions of Sainte. Find out who's going to take victory next week. I've been X-AG. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope to see you next week. Goodbye, stay safe,